Welcome to the Community Difference Plano. Powered by the Difference Media LLC. And hosted by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group. And sponsored by Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage. Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions. Jim Thomas, Business Consulting and Funding. Diane Castle with Castle to Castle. Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators. Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. Megan Schoffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured. Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. Audra Hoover with Alloy Personal Training at the Gleneagles in Plano and Castle Hills locations. And by Asia Mahmood with Windhaven Academy.
The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals.
So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts and insights about being a professional along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It's 11:32 on a rainy Wednesday morning. I don't know if you guys remember what rain looks like, but we finally got some after it seems like most of the summer. So it's good to be wet. I can't believe we're saying that. Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I am your host, Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances, offering tailored small business solutions. At the Enfuego Group, we're not just about financial freedom. We're also passionate about empowering aspiring entrepreneurs to break free from corporate America. So I invite you to join our mission to ignite the fire for freedom and help you to live life on fire. Let's get to it today. It is the start of a new month. The seasons are changing. There will be another, probably a second, maybe even a third summer, as is the case with Texas. But nevertheless, it is approaching fall. They have the pumpkin spice lattes out, so you know something good is happening, even though they've gotten less tasty over the years. That's a personal vendetta. But we do start a new topic this month, which I'm very excited about. Effective top-of-mind strategies, how to build a relevant, iconic brand without being salesy and self-promoting. Very, very important. We see a lot of the latter there, and so we want to talk about how to avoid that while staying top of mind. We'll dive into that theme in our second segment. We're going to hit our What's Up Plano in just a moment, letting everyone know what you need to know that's happening in our city of excellence. In order to do that, I need to introduce my wonderful co-host and guest. Let's start with Lauren Gill. She's a travel enthusiast dedicated to crafting unforgettable experiences, specializing in meeting and incentive trips in Europe, all-inclusive trips, cruises. She combines her loves for exploration with a personalized service. Her extensive travel experience allows her to create intricate and memorable itineraries for her clients. Please welcome, with My Live, Love, Travel, Lauren Gill.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What are you most excited about today?
Well, besides our guests, I'm super excited for them. I am going to Cancun next week to explore more properties to better serve.
You're always going somewhere that we're not going. Everyone needs to book a trip with you. We just need to do a difference trip. Maybe
I think we do.
Mini difference trip to a cruise or somewhere. Maybe you can go scout out a good spot in, you said Cancun?
Yep, in the Cancun area next week.
Okay. Well, let's bring on your partner in crime, a native Texan, 2 decades of experience in the lending industry, passionate about simplifying the mortgage process. She's committed to making homeownership as straightforward as possible, ensuring her clients feel confident and informed through the process. Her mission is to demystify mortgages, providing a clear guidance and support to all. With PBJ Mortgage, Jax Crider. Jax, good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all?
I am great. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm just trying to survive. You know, people can't drive before the rain, and then we add the rain in the mix, and it's just all she wrote, guys. And I think I'd rather go on that Cancun trip with Lauren. That sounds like a fun experience, but you know, it's rude that she didn't invite us, Nathan. I just want to say that, like, what the heck?
I promise it's work.
Sure.
Hey,
work.
she's got a great business. I mean, that's okay. That's nothing
I
wrong
know,
with
right?
that.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Well, let's bring in your guest, Jax, Kristine Hanley, the youngest of 8 children from Houston, Texas, always been an entrepreneur at heart, starting a career at age 14 to owning multiple businesses. Her journey is marked by resilience and a passion to help others. Currently, she runs the Sculptyourbodymed Spa in Plano, offering FDA-approved ultra-slim red light therapy, which sounds awesome, for inflammation reduction, skin tightening, and fat reduction. Kristine combines her business experience with the desire to make a positive impact on people's lives, helping her clients achieve real, lasting results. Please welcome Kristine Hanley.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good.
We're glad to have you on the show. Tell us what you're most excited about.
Most excited about sharing our brand and just how, throughout since I was 14, no matter what venture I was with, I constantly, the consistency of just helping people achieve what they need to achieve.
That's amazing. I love that. And we can't wait to hear that. We're going to get into that topic and obviously more into your background and your story in our 3rd and 4th segments. Let's bring on Tracey Hardwick, I should say, a former news anchor with 25 years in broadcast media, found her true calling after a medical mission to Nigeria in 2008, which led to the adoption of her 4th child. This life-changing experience inspired her to help marginalized youth, and in 2018, she founded Together We Thrive, a Texas-based nonprofit dedicated to transforming lives of at-risk, homeless, foster, and sex-trafficked youth in North Texas. Her organization provides mentorship and coaching to nearly 1,000 vulnerable youth annually, earning recognition for its innovative approach to supporting those in need. Please welcome Tracey Hardwick with Together We Thrive.
Hi,
Tracey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Good, great. Thrilled with the rain. We need more.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm kind of with Jax. I'm like, we didn't know how to drive before the rain, and they don't know how to drive after the rain. So it's kind of a losing situation all the way around. But grateful for the rain today.
Absolutely. What do you? I know you're excited to be on the show. Anything else you have going on that you're excited about?
You know what? We're just thrilled each and every day. Our life coaches. So Together We Thrive looks a little different than other nonprofits. Our life coaches are paid full-time positions so that we can be consistent. We have a strong messaging. We never cancel on our youth. So by providing life coaches in the school, they're working one-on-one with their youth, and we'll see over 1,000 students in middle school and high school this school year in one-on-one sessions. So these aren't even group sessions. So most excited every day, which is a school day, when the school doors open, our life coaches are in working with these youth. And so we're super excited for that.
Well, we're excited to hear more about that journey and what you're doing with Together We Thrive. So we're excited to have you on. And then we've got a couple of special guests for our What's Up Plano segment, which we'll have in just a moment here. First, I'd like to bring on Mark Jarrell with the City of Plano. Mark, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning? Staying dry?
I'm trying to stay dry. We're having a good time here.
Now, you manage the Plano Event Center, which is why we're bringing you on to discuss some things that are going on. We'll do that after our commercial break. But outside of that, what are you excited about? What do you have going on that you're pumped for?
Well, I'm excited about the cooler weather for sure, but I'm also excited about, we've got a brand new event here today called DFW Clearance Sale, and all the ladies need to come out. It's a bunch of boutiques selling everything at half price.
Well, that's
So
great.
come on out and check it out.
We'll definitely be out to do that here soon. And let's also bring in Sergeant James Babb with the Plano Police Department.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic. We're glad to have you here. Thank you so much for your service. Obviously, what are you excited about going on in Plano?
I'm excited to get the word out about National Night Out coming up on October 1st.
Well, I love it.
I'm going to stow away with Lauren to that trip to Mexico.
She can put you in her luggage. So
I was going to say, me and you both, buddy. Me and you both.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're going to jump right into our What's Up Plano segment right when we come back. We're going to go to commercial break. We want to obviously give love to our sponsors. Enjoy this commercial. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Jim Thomas, business consultant and business funding expert, Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Asi El Mahmood with Windhaven Academy, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Shopper with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A., and by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Plano?
Welcome back. Our sponsor for What's Up Plano, Voodoo Brewery. If you're looking for a great place to relax with delicious craft beer and supporting local, check out Voodoo Brewery. They are locally owned and operated. This brewery gives back to the community, offers a wide selection of unique beers that you won't find anywhere else, like their West Coast IPA, packed with tropical fruit notes and 7.3% alcohol by volume. A variety of beers, tasty pub fare, and a family-friendly atmosphere. Voodoo Brewery is a must-visit in downtown Plano. If you mention the Community Difference podcast, you'll get 20% off your first beer. In fact, speaking of Voodoo Brewery, we will be having our happy hour there following our Business Development Alliance meeting on the 26th of September. So we'll have the Business Development Alliance, which is really a free networking and business development organization that we've created based on the work that Lyndon has done, the book that he's written. And so it's not just going to be your normal networking business card exchange. It's going to actually be getting down to the nitty-gritty of things that you need to do to make your business thrive. In fact, it's a lot of the topics that we've been talking about, getting into the details of what makes somebody from kind of average and ordinary to making the difference in their community, with their business, to becoming an elite professional. So you want to check out the Business Development Alliance. It's going to be 4:00 on the 26th at Urban Rio, and then we'll follow that right across the street with our happy hour at 5 to 7 at Voodoo Brewery. So make sure you mark your calendars for those things. All right,
it was awesome last month. Like, it was so great. I mean, Laura and I both were there, and you guys, the people who missed out, I'm telling you, you guys missed out. It was so good. So don't miss it this time. Just don't miss it.
Shout out to Tammy. Tammy is our new host of our Rockwall show. So excited to have her. You can check out the Rockwall show today at 2:30 on the Difference Network right here on Facebook, YouTube, and all of your other podcast means. Let's start out with Mark. Mark, let's bring you in here. Mark is the Plano Event Center manager, and you shared an event that's coming up. But I think the question I'd like to start with is, what is going on with all the construction? There's a lot of construction happening over there. Can you give us an update there?
Yes, there is a ton of construction. If you have driven past the Plano Event Center lately, you will notice that the entire, what I call our front lawn, is torn up. We are building new roads. As part of the overall Envision Oak Point plan that some of you may have heard of. We are trying to develop the 40 acres that surrounds the Plano Event Center. We're going to be adding, hopefully, a hotel, some restaurants, and some retail. So they are building new streets to better accommodate those things.
So it's not just going to be an event center in the middle of a field. It's going to be a whole event area.
It's going to be a whole entertainment district. It's going to be the Plano Event Center Entertainment District.
Well, I love that because it's 5 minutes from my house. So that's
exactly. And the road should all be completed by December. And then we also are building a new courtyard facility out here as well. That has been going on for about a year now and should be finished also by December, hopefully sooner. But that's going to be a really incredible addition to our space here. It's about a $3.5 million project, and it's going to have artificial turf in the center part of it, and then it'll be surrounded with hardscape and shade structures. There'll be 2 different stage areas, so you can have small concerts, you can have speakers, you can have receptions, whatever you want to do out there. And then there also will be a large fire pit that you can pull a couch up to around and sip your wine and have a great time out there. There'll be a fence going around it, so it will be legal for alcohol outside.
Nice.
Yes, that will also be pretty. And then, of course, there'll be Wi-Fi. There'll be tons of electrical, nice lighting going across of it, and it'll be a really unique setting, I think, for meeting planners. So it'll be a great addition.
What do you now? You know, a lot of that area right now that's under construction is generally used for parking for like the balloon festival. So what
Yes.
is the plan for that?
Unfortunately, we're just going to have less parking for them this year. They are going to be using across the street the Oak Point Rec Center a little more heavily. We're hoping that at least a small portion will be able to be opened up for them. Not as much as they are accustomed to using, but we do believe that a small portion will be able to be opened up so that it won't be quite as crowded as it could be.
Now, I assume moving forward, once the project is done, there's going to be a ton of parking there that could, in the future, then be used again for big
Yes.
events that aren't at the community center, like the balloon festival.
Yes, we're looking into when we get a hotel out here, we're looking into also building a parking garage
Okay.
to go along with that hotel. And that would add another 500 spaces. We already have about 920 spaces. So then that would give us another 500, which would be great for the Balloon Fest and our events as well.
Awesome. Well, you shared an event that's coming up. What are some other big things that are coming to the event center here throughout the rest of the year?
Well, one super popular event that is coming back, they have been gone for 3 years, but they're coming back. It's Neath the Wreath. It starts on November the 4th, and that is the Junior League of Collin County's large Christmas event. It's a Christmas market. They have, every kind of gift you could possibly want to purchase someone for Christmas. And so we're very excited to see them coming back. They're so large that we're going to have to add a big tent on the north side of the building to bring them in, and it's going to be a great event. And those of you who have been out here in the past for it, it was here for many years, will be excited to see it return as well.
The overall, what's the overall time frame for the finished product or project with the hotel and everything? Any idea?
The hotel, best case scenario, we have just done a feasibility study that has just been completed. So we are hoping to advertise and attract a developer early next year. By the time contracts, things like that are all completed, best case scenario, they would probably start in the fall of 25, and then it's about an 18-month process to actually get completed.
So we're looking probably mid to end of 27, roughly.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere in there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But the good news is, I was just saying, the good news is that not only will the roads be in place, but they've also put in place the new water and sewer lines. So everything's ready for a hotel and for development. They just have to come and build them.
Great. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of exciting things happening. I drive by that all the time, and I'm like, well, who can tell me what's going on there? And I think you're definitely the right person for the job. So we'll have to come out and see you in person. I guess, do you office out there at the Plano Event Center as well?
Yes, I do. I am in my office right now.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll come out and say hi at some point. Mark, I appreciate you being on. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me.
You have a blessed day.
You too.
Jack, speaking of events, you've got a lot of things coming up as well that don't pertain to the Plano Event Center. Share us a couple of those, and we're looking forward to turning it over to Sergeant Babb to wrap out our segment here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, and I actually highlighted a couple of events at Plano Event Center for last month. So definitely always be checking out Plano Event Center, guys. If you live in Plano, it's a great place that they do all kinds of stuff all the time. But we are going to be doing at Haggard Park here in Plano. There is a really cool event that is coming up on the 14th. It is called, and I'm going to butcher the way that it's Oskaskis. I can't even say it. It's a Japanese moon viewing festival, guys, where they're going to have like a cultural
You don't know how to pronounce that? Come on.
I know, I do not. And I've been to Japan and it's awesome. It's got amazing culture in Japan. But yes, so it's a really cool thing. There's going to be music, there's going to be vendors, demonstrations, all kinds of really cool stuff. So please go check that out. That's something cool happening. We highlighted slightly the Balloon Festival. That's coming on the 19th of September through the 22nd. You've never been. It's an amazing event. It's a lot of fun. Super cool to see the balloons take off. Even if you don't actually physically go to like where they take off, you could even, got to be a little bit back and you'll get to see them take off. It's always a lot of fun.
I think the
really
weather will
great
be a
thing.
lot better this year than it was last year.
I hope so.
Because it's coming up. What's the date on that?
It's the 19th and the 22nd. September in Texas is always a mystery. We could be 100 degrees or 80, maybe even 60. You never know.
The low tomorrow is 60 something, which is
Right.
amazing. So who knows?
Exactly. So you
We'll
just
pray
never
for
know.
good weather.
But yes,
Good,
it
not
should probably
windy
be some
weather.
good weather.
Yeah.
For sure.
Perfect.
And then if you guys are not aware, there's a cool event that happens ongoing. It's called a Sip and Shop or Wine Walk, whichever way you want to call it. It's going to be on the 19th of this month, the 17th of October, the 21st of November, and the 19th of December. It's in downtown Plano, and it's a great opportunity to drink some wine and shop. So you get to do a little bit of both. And then last but not least, one of the coolest events in my opinion, and it's probably because my mom owns a shop downtown, so I'm always down there checking out what's going on. They do this really cool thing. It's going to be on October 6th. It is called Night Out on 15th. They put a giant table in the middle of 15th Street. It's about 300 feet long, and then they do like a 3-course meal. And it's just a really cool event. So you can get tickets. You better get them quickly. They sell out every single year. So it's really a cool opportunity, but always a lot of cool stuff going on in Plano. So definitely check it out.
Well, I'll turn it over to Lauren now to introduce Sergeant Babb for us.
Sergeant Babb, thank you so much for being on the show today. Would love to get to know you a little bit better. So what is your role with the Plano Police Department?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I am the sergeant over the Crime Prevention Unit, and we are essentially the community outreach. We do a lot of programs, personal safety, property safety, frauds and scams that we would be happy to bring to you. We also host our Citizens Police Academy, things like that. So we stay pretty busy throughout the year.
Sounds like it. So I know we've got a national night out coming up in Plano. So would you be willing to share more information about that and what that means?
Absolutely. If you want a little bit of history on it, it started in 1984 in the suburbs of Philadelphia to kind of bolster police community relations. And also one of the big things is to know your neighbor. We found that if you actually know your neighbors, you're a little bit more, I don't want to say nosy, but you're a little bit more apt to say, hey, that's out of place, and call them. And if they're not around, call the police, because that's what you guys pay us for. And it's generally the real date is the first Tuesday in August, but obviously in Texas, we're not going to have much of a turnout if it's the first Tuesday in August, because it would have been 100 degrees this year. So we celebrate it first Tuesday in October, which this year will be October 1st. And in most cases, they're organized through a neighborhood crime watch. And currently, we are trying to rebolster that program. We lost a lot of our folks in 2020, obviously. And if you have any interest in that, or if you would like any kind of presentation, you can reach the Crime Prevention Unit at 972-941-2134. Or you can email the admin, Emily Jackson, at ejackson@plano.gov, or you can reach out to me as well. My number is 972-941-2136.
Awesome. And so what does that event look like on October 1st?
So generally it's specific neighborhoods will put together their own, because again, we get calls throughout the year. Hey, where is your national night out? Well, we are such a big city that we are going to have them in each neighborhood. Because again, one of the biggest things is to know your neighbor. And again, that's why they reach out through that. Now, as a matter of course, we just so happen to have a meeting tonight of our area crime watch coordinators, and they will be presenting on how to build a large scale national night out. Two of our biggest neighborhoods will be there to present. And that's going to be at 7501 Independence this evening, starting at I believe it's 7:00. But we would love to have anybody out for that as well. We're trying to get as many folks to know one another and love their community just like we do.
I love that.
Yeah, I can definitely see the value in that.
About 30 seconds left, Sergeant Babb. If somebody wants to be you call it a crime prevention, what'd you call the
Crime Watch coordinator?
Crime Watch coordinator. Yeah. How do you get involved there?
So we will just reach out to us again, that 972-941-2134. And we will be more than happy to walk you through all of the process and get everything signed up. Or you may already be in a Crime Watch group or Crime Watch neighborhood and not know about that. If that's the case, we'll get you fixed up with who your Crime Watch coordinator is.
Well, we thank you very much, Sergeant Babb, for being on. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for just informing us about the areas that we can get involved and to make sure that our city continues to be a city of excellence and really one of the safest cities in America year after year after year. So thank you very much. We're going to go to our pleasure. We're going to go to break. When we come back, effective top of mind strategies, how to build a relevant, iconic brand without being salesy and self-promoting. Stick around. Enjoy the commercial break. We'll be right back.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Enjoy DFW's most fun, affordable night out and catch the Rough Riders, the AA affiliate of the Rangers, at beautiful Riders Field in Frisco. Get your tickets at ridersbaseball.com. The Frisco Rough Riders, the future stars of your Texas Rangers.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive? Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at thismamadoula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
Welcome back as we jump into our topic segment. But first, are you looking for the perfect venue to host your next event? Look no further than Urban Family Concepts in Plano, Texas. This dynamic group of restaurants and event spaces offers a unique concept to suit any occasion. From the modern industrial vibe of Urban Crust to the fresh seafood, stunning views at Urban Seafood Company, and of course, Urban Rio, which brings the flavors of the Southwest to Plano, Texas, with its unique Tex-Mex cuisine and lively atmosphere, then you are no doubt going to find the right place to host your next corporate function, wedding, birthday, or celebration. Their experienced events team will work with you to bring your vision to life. Again, we will be having our Business Development Alliance meeting there on the 26th at 4 p.m. at Urban Rio, which is on 14th Street. Okay. So our topic, effective top of mind strategies. How do you stay top of mind without being salesy or self-promoting, right? What we're looking at is techniques to keep your brand consistent, present, relevant in the minds of your audience, okay? So we want to build an iconic brand that resonates with people, right? To bring value. We want to use authentic storytelling, build strong relationships, right? And doing really anything that does not lead to overt, pushy sales or self-promotion, okay? Whether it's value-first content, like I mentioned, storytelling, community engagement, working on things with other businesses, what's called co-creation. That's kind of the landscape that I want to set for the topic, okay? So let's start out. When you think of top of mind strategies, I just want to go around. We'll start with Kristine. What comes to mind when you say, okay, I want to stay top of mind? What are some things that come to your mind there? And then I'll kind of get everybody's answer. And then I want to ask some specific questions for you guys based specifically on your business. So I'll start with you, Kristine. What comes to mind?
So basically on how to stay top of mind, is that what you're...
Yeah, when you think of top of mind strategies, what comes to your mind? What are some things that you're doing? Why is it important to focus on that without constantly pushing? Here's who I am. Here's what I do. Right.
So something that I found that has worked for me is just being consistent on social media. And not necessarily, hey, look at my med spa, hey, health and wellness, hey, dry body brushing. Being consistent every single day with all of my viewers and, my following of, here's a picture of my son that just was married, or here, my daughter, in her new dress kind of thing. And so constantly just staying top of mind, because I've had actually, people come into, the marketplace, and they, come into my spa or whatnot. And they were like, it's just whenever I think of health and wellness, whenever I think of like liver health or, homeopathic kind of things, you're top of mind, because when I go to the gym, I'll post either like a time lapse of the workout, but I think it's just always being consistent and being your true authentic self, and always doing that same thing, not trying to be somebody that you're not.
I couldn't agree more. And that's a big part of storytelling, is letting people into who you are. Because if you think about it, Kristine, you pointed on this, your brand is not so much your logo or your tagline or your, that's kind of your creative brand, I guess, in a sense. But the most impactful brand that we have is ourselves, our behavior, right. What people can expect from us. And so, being able to pull back the curtain and, through content, there's all different types of content strategies. I'll share one that I'm working on here in just a little bit, but that's a great way to people to realize, hey, I still exist, or I'm still alive, which is a good thing. And then, the little things sprinkled in, knowing what you do, helps you stay top of mind. And there's, a ton of other strategies behind that. Tracey, when you were preparing for the topic, what came to your mind as far as top of mind strategies? What does that mean to you?
It's a great question, because I think for a nonprofit, especially with 40,000 across North Texas, 501c3s, there's a lot of choices for people in the community to find what pulls on their heartstring. But one thing that I have realized in running a nonprofit is that allowing people to see for themselves and to see the story. And fortunately for us, there are youth that we work with that we're able to put a mic on them and let them tell their story. And that's what makes the difference. I can talk all day long. I can share experiences with you. I can tell you lots of stories that will pull on your heart. But when you get to step in and see, that's changing, right? That's heart changing for you and mind changing. And so one thing that we are able to do in a lot of our schools are bring people in from the community to serve, shadow, come and see, sit with a life coach, sit with myself for just an hour, and you get to meet some of our youth. And then when you see for yourself, that's what helps you understand the mission of Together We Thrive. So like Kristine was sharing, social media is great. But when we get to allow the community to step in and hear directly from the youth that are walking beside a life coach consistently, that's what changes the story for us.
You mentioned there's a billion nonprofits in the area. How have you seen obviously don't call them out, but seen some, and salesy is not really the word for a nonprofit, but nonprofits need money. So how have you seen kind of them portray that, try to stay top of mind in a not positive way, being quote unquote salesy or the equivalent of in a nonprofit? And then obviously you shared what you did, which is the kind of the opposite of that. How do you see, what have you seen, if you were to give, I guess, a warning to nonprofits, like don't do this, because it's not going to resonate with donors. It's not going to get you the money you need. What would you say would be those things?
Yeah, it's hard. It's a challenge for all of us because we exist by the funding, that we get to secure. And because we pay for our life coaches, it's a full-time paid position. That means me hitting the pavement that much harder. But I think it's allowing people to step in and experience your nonprofit. And I think the first and really the only thing, because every nonprofit is doing something great for the community, right?
Mhm.
We're all out there trying to better the community. And so it's hard, you're trying to put one foot in front of the other, and you're trying to, scoop up a lot of supporters. But one thing that I would say is if we could all work together. There are some nonprofits that would like to stand alone, and I understand that 100%. But for us, when we're serving youth, there's a lot of components that come with that. So it's food insecure, it's clothing, needing help maybe with their caregiver. So what would be the wrong thing for me to do is to think that Together We Thrive could stand on its own, and we can't. We stay in our lane. We work with those youth individually, one-on-one, to help getting them move forward. But in order for us to serve the whole youth, we love hooking arms with other nonprofits. So my suggestion, and just learning from experiences, become a team, become a village, become a community where we're all serving together in different aspects. But do what you do what the Lord's called you to do, and do it well, 100%. But let other nonprofits do what they do well, and let's do this together. That would be my.
Well, that's a big part of top of mind is, community involvement, building or creating something together. We've talked about in previous topics, co-branding, leveraging, I can't even think of that. I'm totally blanking right now, but just coming together with other businesses, promoting each other, in your case, nonprofits, or cost-based marketing. So I'm trying to say, anytime you can do that, you're promoting yourself in a sense and someone else, but you're not doing it in an overt fashion. Kristine, I want to go back to you, you obviously have some pretty proprietary and unique services that you guys offer. So I'm not going to say that you're like everyone else, but you are in an industry that there are a lot of places. There's a lot of spas. There's a lot of similar locations, etc. What have you seen that kind of turns you off in that industry when it comes to people trying to be salesy or top of mind? And then how do you kind of Heisman that and say, we're not going to be that way. This is how we're going to operate to stay top of mind.
Right. So something that I found is that sets us apart, right, and makes it not so salesy. So, with a red light, it's 100% guaranteed results, right? And so when anybody comes in, if they're coming in for, I've had some, I'm not going to name names, but I have certain athletes or whatnot that come in for inflammation. So we do like injury, support. And then we have just, I think, constantly providing the proven results. Where it's been difficult is some people don't actually follow the protocol, right? So there's certain things you have to do. But for instance, I bring up the gym. When I was at the gym, the instructor in one of the classes, he had sprained his ankle. And so not being salesy, I was like, hey, after class, went over and said, hey, why don't you come in for a complimentary session? Let me run a, red light treatment on your ankle. So he and his wife came in, brought all their little babies. It was super cute. And then the next time I come into class, he does a shout out, and there was 40 people in the class, right? So absolutely wasn't intended to be a salesy thing. It was just, again, just being that true, authentic self. And, Tracey had mentioned something, as far as, every single day that I get up and anything that I do in my business, whenever I'm providing it to my clients or whatnot, or my friends and family, I'm doing it as if I'm doing it directly for, the Lord, right? And that's not trying to be salesy or pitchy. That's just being honest. And Tracey, I agree with you on that 100%.
Jax, you are in an industry that is confusing for a lot of people. And the core of your brand is to make it as easy as peanut butter and jelly, which is nice. How do you maintain that focus on, I guess we'll call it simplicity, while still conveying your depth of knowledge and your expertise to your clients, but not being like, here's all the things I do, here's all the things I know, here's how awesome I am. You're giving that value, but with just reminding them who you are and what your expertise is.
Well, so first of all, I wanted to touch on Kristine. I think what Kristine was saying is kind of exactly how I approach most business in general, is adding value first, right? Like by helping others and showing them. I mean, we do literally, our core values are educate, empathize, empower, because it is truly like, I don't need to tell you how good I am if I'm educating you and you're seeing it in real time, if that makes sense, right? By adding value to you and showing you what we bring to the table, how much we're going to help, that is going to allow us to stand out, right? We're going to be able to create a brand, and, and we leverage it by storytelling. So like we kind of do both. Like we explain, hey, here's why we do this happened. And then this is why we don't want you to go down this path, right? Like I think a lot of times people think that you have to always be like, pick me, which in my opinion is the opposite of what I ever want to be. You don't have to be that way. You just literally have to be creating consistent value. You have to be doing some of these things, like Tracey said, involving your community, right? Like when you start sort of building this group of people around you who not only see your value, you're pouring into them, they're automatically going to kind of, like Lyndon always is saying, right? Going to almost be like the mouthpiece for you. So when people know that you're good at what you do, I won't have to say, hey, I'm great at mortgage. Because guess what? Lauren's going to tell that person that I'm great at mortgage, or you're going to tell them, Nathan, right? Or Tracey's going to tell them, etc. Right? And it's why I actually started scaling back and even starting into the financial education space, like even creating an additional brand to help add that value, offering lots of free tools, because it is a hard space and it's not an easy one for people to understand, for sure.
Lauren,
I hear you saying, like, go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I hear you being a resource, and I think that's kind of key. It's that relationship piece. So instead of looking at things transactionally, looking at it as how can I add value, and how can I develop relationships with people and show that I care about them. And like in my space, it might just be providing some guidance on the best place to go and get a passport. Maybe you don't need to book a trip with me right now, or maybe you've already booked a trip on your own, but I'm still going to be a resource for you and say, hey, in my experience, I found the Denton County government offices are better than USPS for going to get a passport. There's your pro tip there, y'all. But that's a way to stay like top of mind for people, just by adding value and trying to make their lives a little bit easier.
Lauren, I was going to ask you, specifically, in the travel industry, building relationships is key. You get that repeat customer, et cetera. How do you make sure that your brand, not just Live, Love, Travel, but you specifically, stays top of mind with clients when they're rethinking, thinking about another vacation or another trip or another cruise or whatever? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you for asking. A few ways. One is I always send I believe in coming from a place of gratitude. So I always send a welcome home email, and I ask for feedback because I want to know what your experience was like. How was your experience of me? How was your experience of the trip? Just so that I know how I can serve you better in the future. Something I've been mulling over too is putting together like a client appreciation event that has nothing to do with trying to sell you on your next vacation. It's really just to show you, hey, I really appreciate you booking with me and working with me. And I just want to share that gratitude with you through this event. And it's not, you'll refer me if that's what you feel led to do because of your experience of me, but I just want to show that I appreciate you for working with me.
Well, providing free things, whether it be free events, free content, free how-to, that brings value is a huge way of staying top of mind. You see this in, these business coaches all the time. I'm doing my $300 package. I'm giving it away for free. And everyone's like, oh, and automatically that's an easy way to stay top of mind because you're providing value. And I think value is huge in your content strategy. Like, what are you willing to share and give just for the sake of giving, and then ultimately you end up getting something back. We got about 1 minute left. I know, Lyndon, you had our producer in the background has a question.
I do. I want, been doing business development for over 30 years and seeing a lot of different top of mind strategies. I think that most of them are centered around education, branding, marketing, and advertising. That's pretty much what they're all centered around. The most effective ones that I've ever seen are not centered around any of those. They're centered around getting people to fall in love with a brand, whether they need that brand or not. Right? So whether they need travel, whether they need when you think about it like a radio and you're tuning into a station, right? People are going to tune in to Lauren if they are planning a trip or wanting to go on a trip or interested in a trip or just so frustrated they want to get away. They may not even realize it today, but that's what resonates with them. That's what clicks. The most effective top of mind strategies gain the attention of everybody, regardless of they're in your space right now or not. If someone is out there and they may not even be thinking of it, they're 17 years old. They have no interest in buying a house, but they fall in love with Jax because what Jax is doing for the community, what Jax is doing for other people. That's who they're going to think about when they get to that point in their life to do that. So if you were going to build that type of strategy away from education, branding, marketing, and advertising, what would it look like?
I mean, I think that's a great question, and probably a good question for all of us to think through, and for our listeners, to think, okay, because I started a story campaign that I've been working on, providing bits of information and nothing real promotional, just here's some things you need to know. But to your point, Lyndon, if someone's not in the market or even thinking about finances or insurance or anything like that, it could trigger them to think about it possibly, but it's not engaging for everyone. And I think of brands like, Coca-Cola. Like nobody needs a Coca-Cola. Like nobody, in fact, you should probably not drink them. They're terrible for you. Sorry, Coke. But you love the commercials. You love the bear. You love the Santa Claus. You've become accustomed to the feeling of Coca-Cola, whether it's around Christmas time, whether it's hot summer day, whatever that looks like. And their marketing is great. You've fallen in love with a brand. You don't think like no one's like I really need to get my refill of Coca-Cola. I mean, you grab it if it's there, but you love the commercials. Same thing with Red Bull. Red Bull's social media account is nothing about a drink. It's all about extreme sports. Now that's still somewhat niche, but you can still watch it and be entertained. They did the jump, the space jump. I mean, nothing says, high caffeine energy drink like a space jump, I guess. I don't know. But yet, nevertheless, we were all tuned in to watch it, right?
What it does, Nathan, with social media right now, the way that you approach social media marketing and branding, especially top of mind, is in a way that it makes it trendy to do business with you.
Yeah.
Right? You want it to be trendy, that it's cool. I'm going to do business with Nathan because that will make me cooler than I am if I don't do business with Nathan.
Dang straight. That's correct.
Right.
So it's like
the other thing that we have to be concerned with is there's this little thing on social media called unfollow. So if people are getting a lot of things that are irrelevant to them, they tend to unfollow it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not interested in a mortgage right now and all I'm getting is mortgage stuff and I unfollow Jax, the day that I get ready for mortgage stuff, I'm not going to remember Jax is around. So we want to do things that attract people regardless of if they need us or not, because a lot of times they will still say, if I'm not interested in a mortgage, I've seen this wonderful person called Jax Crider. I have no idea who she is, but this PBJ thing sounds really cool. My buddy wants to get a mortgage. That's who I talk to him about. Hey, I don't know her, but I think she's cool. I think you would probably like this. This probably fits you. So I think that's an approach that we're missing now. For so long, when you had billboards and newspapers, and of course Tracey knows this. She was in media. It's target marketing, right? You target who you're going after. But now, because it's so saturated, you don't necessarily have to do that. You just want to market to everybody. To again, it's almost like an influencer on TikTok, or you just get a following. And then at some point in time, the following is going to want what you have if you have enough of them. It's better to have 10 million people following you than 5 that follow you only because of what you do.
Well, and that's basically what you see from these, giant Instagram influencer accounts. They just follow because of the person and not necessarily what they're about. So, man, we're just scratching the surface on this topic. 4 more great weeks to come. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we will jump in with a couple of deep dive questions for Tracey and Kristine. So stick around. We'll be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Hey Texans, hold on to your hats. The Mesquite Championship Rodeo, newest sponsor partner of the Community Difference shows, is back, bigger and better than ever. Witness the heart-pounding action as the best riders in the world compete for glory. Feel the thrill of the chase, the raw power of nature, and the unbreakable spirit of the West. Don't miss your chance to be part of the legend. Get your tickets now for the Mesquite Championship Rodeo or win yours free just for watching the Community Difference shows.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
Buying a home? It should be an exciting time, not a stressful one. At Proven National Title, we understand that buyers want fast, reliable, transparent, seamless, convenient title and closing services. Therefore, our services are not limited to our office or yours. Let Jackie Tobar and all the fine folks at Proven National Title help make your dream of homeownership a reality. Call us today for a smooth and stress-free closing. Contact us at 972-752-8540 or email at jackie.tobar@provennationaltitle.com. Proven National Title. Give me one and I'll earn the rest.
Get Her Done Home Remodeling, based in Wiley, Texas, is a family-owned business that has become a trusted name across the DFW Metroplex. Meet Robert Ridlin, proud owner along with his wife Kiana, of Get Her Done Home Remodeling. With years of construction experience, Robert and his team deliver award-winning, dependable, and trustworthy service. Get Her Done Home Remodeling, where your home dreams become reality.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
And now, back to the show.
Welcome back. We want to take the next few minutes now, about 4 or 5 minutes, to just talk with Kristine and Tracey a little bit in regards to your business, but more how your involvement with the city of Plano and how you utilize your experience to better the city. First, let's just start really quickly. Tracey, what is your favorite thing about the Plano community? Give you a softball question there.
Well, a lot of my friends live there. So we've called Plano home since I'm not from Texas, but my husband is. And I feel like I've lived in Texas longer than I did where I was born in Ohio. So it's home, everybody's family. It's interesting because you don't really meet people that are from Texas or maybe some part of Texas, but maybe not specifically the Plano area, but you become family quickly. And so I just love that. It gives you really a great home vibe there. And so we're thrilled to be serving Together We Thrive within the Collin County area. And so yeah, love Plano.
Kristine, what about you?
So, I think in the beginning we mentioned I started all this entrepreneuring when I was 14, but in 2004 through 2012, I owned a couple of Primrose preschools in Plano. And so I was pretty deeply involved, actually really deeply involved with, 6 weeks up to 12 years old with the youth there. Really involved with the police department, the fire department, because, those kids are constantly pulling a little fire alarm. That was a fun one.
Whether you wanted to be involved or not, you were involved.
Whether you wanted to be involved or not. Plano's just always been just really community driven, right? And just a safe place. I love all of this. It's more, you've got more of the mature trees, you've got the landscape, the houses, whatnot. It's not, I don't know. It seems to have really good roots. And we would sponsor you guys mentioned the Plano Balloon Festival earlier. We did that every single year. So it's really nice to see all of these things picking back up and taking off again. Well,
you mentioned being involved locally. What advice would you give to someone, a business owner, just trying to get involved locally in Plano? We talked about top of mind strategies. That's a great way to stay top of mind, is to be involved locally. What advice would you give them on how to find the right area to do that, or the right process to get involved?
One of the things that I found that helped me was they, even just, at the community center or at the Plano Police Department, they do offer things like, it's like Citizens Patrol kind of a thing, or Citizens, the fire department and the police department. And that was one of the first steps I took. You go in, it's like a 12-week program. It's once a week. And it's actually really cool because you are sitting side by side by the officers and the police, or the fire department, and they take you through all the departments. But it was, as me as a community leader, I've got to really, get to know other just citizens that came in that were donating our time to learn this is a 911 call center, and this is what we do when this kind of a call, and it just kind of helped me understand the process and really brought me in closer to
Tracey, same thing to you. What is some advice you would give to getting involved locally on the Collin County, Plano level that you've done, obviously, but just again, someone that's maybe just planted roots here, or just moved their business here, or just starting a business?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. I think the chamber is always a great place to start, getting involved in the Chamber of Commerce there, and being available to go to their monthly meetings. I always think too, if you have children, getting involved in the schools, that's best way to get to know the community as well, is just stepping out there, putting yourself out there. For us as a nonprofit, there are a lot of nonprofits, groups of women in particular throughout Plano and Collin County that look to support local nonprofits whose dollars are coming back into the community. And so that's been a great resource for us because we've been able to connect with them, and they've helped us connect with others. And so it's just that trickle down effect that happens within the community. And so we're very grateful for those connections in Plano and Collin County. They're in abundance. There's a lot of great groups out there, nonprofits that are looking to help other nonprofits and small business owners get started. So I always suggest go there.
You really have to try to not be involved, honestly, in the city of Plano. So
which is
good. It's a great thing.
It's nice when you say, I think I'm good in this corner. I need to go over here and find some connections over here.
Right.
Yeah,
they make it easy, which is good.
They really do.
Lauren, on a kind of a reverse question, if you could change something about Plano, what would that be?
This is going to sound lame, and Sergeant Babb may not like this answer, but I think they need to raise the speed limits from 40 to 45.
Everywhere?
I concur, Lauren. I concur.
I'm thinking Legacy Road. Come on, y'all. It's been 40 for a long time. It needs to be 45.
I think I drive 50. Don't tell anyone on that.
I'm always I've got a 10 mile an hour buffer. Yeah, I've got a 10 mile buffer over, not ever under. But
okay, yeah. Well, you need to get a police sticker on your car. That apparently that helps, or a fire department sticker. Jax, what about you? What would you? Not much to change. That was a very small thing, but what would you change about Plano if you could?
I think it would be great if they could get the roads. I know so I will give them credit that they do a better job than most cities about updating their roads as they wear, which is awesome, because there's some cities who are in our area, which will remain nameless, and they're not so great about updating the roads. But man, it creates some.
They rhyme with
traffic nightmare.
schmalice by any chance?
What'd you say? Yeah, exactly. It rhymes with
Rhyme
schmalice.
with schmalice?
Not really sure what city that is. You guys can just use your imagination. But yes, but I mean, it definitely just causes some fun traffic-y situations. So I wish that wasn't the case. But where Tracy was saying you don't know many people from Texas, I was like, I'm from Plano. Like I grew up here. So I'm one of those weird people. So I mean, they've always had great structure. I mean, a lot of major cities around them, even Frisco, they based their city plan off of Plano. And so that for me tells me that Plano really did get it right.
Yeah,
they did a good job.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go to our last commercial break. When we come back, a new segment for you called What's the Difference? I'll explain what that means on the other side of the commercial break. We'll be right back.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right, a new segment called What's the Difference? I'm going to read a statement that's, what's the difference between two things? And then we're going to go around and just kind of get everybody's thought on them. And then I'll give you the official Webster Dictionary correct answer, and we can kind of weigh exactly, I don't know, it's not Webster, I'm just kidding, but it's the correct answer. We can weigh how close we were in our discussion. So try to keep your answers to about, 15, 20 seconds max as we go through. Try to get through three of these. All of these questions as we go through this, and we'll start doing this as our wrap-up segment for the rest of the year. They're all around business topics, a lot of the things that we've talked about over the past 4 or 5 months and we'll be getting to in the remainder of the year. So let's start with this one, and I'll start with Jack's first here. What's the difference between being fully invested in a professional journey and merely participating in it?
So I would say fully invested. You are completely sold out. You eat, breathe, sleep it. Versus what was the other thing? Versus what?
Just merely participating in it.
I don't know. I feel like merely participating is like you show up and you do the bare minimum. It's like whatever you have to do to get by.
Okay, Kristine.
I'm pretty much mimic her. I used to, just any of my staff or whatnot, and pretty much I'm like, you've got to bleed it, right? Like in everything that you do. So you're either all in or you're not, right? So, and like she said, you're every single thing that everything's geared towards that goal, right? You've got to keep that in focus. And if you're not, then you're just sort of, so it's, what is it like the, you've got the investors or, people who actually are in there doing the work, or people who are just given the cash, right? So,
yeah, exactly. Lauren.
I think it's having a mindset of growth. And so if you're invested in it, that you're constantly seeking to evolve, to change, to improve so that you can better serve whatever market it is that you're in, versus just phoning it in and being a just enougher.
Just enougher. What a great, I like that. Tracy.
Just enougher.
So Nathan, for us, there are several people that want to become life coaches. And I always say to them, I can show you what we do. I can teach you what we do when we do one-on-ones with our youth, but I cannot teach you how to love them. That is something that comes from the inner heart and the inner soul. And so you can go through the process with them and sit and be present, but I can't teach you how to love them. And if you don't love them, you really can't do what we do. It Together We Thrive.
You guys really touched on parts of the definition. Being fully invested means dedicating time, energy, and resources to mastering your craft. Lauren, you talked about personal growth, continually seeking growth, and aligning your actions with long-term goals. Merely participating involves just going through the motions. I think you mentioned that, Jax, without a clear vision or commitment to excellence. Excellence is a big key to what we talk about here at The Difference. Number 2, we'll go in reverse order this time. We'll start with Tracy. What's the difference between viewing your profession as a calling and seeing it as just a job?
Wow. Well, let me just say that I loved my profession, my career prior to nonprofit world. And so I left there dragging my feet, but I knew that it was exactly what the Lord was calling me to do. I didn't go willingly. I have to confess that. It was hard to do that, but it is definitely a calling. I mean, my profession I loved for 25 years, but this is different. This is what I know I'm supposed to do, and been given this incredible passion and love for these kids that I can't even describe. So definitely a calling. There's a huge difference.
Lauren.
I'm going to say very similar, Tracy. I love that, by the way. Calling, I would say there's passion involved, even when things are challenging and hard, where you aren't just like, that's it, I'm throwing in the towel. You've got to have that resilience and that grit to want to keep going.
Yeah, you know where you're going. It almost goes back to the previous question of being fully invested. Kristine.
Yeah, it's like, knowing that it's your calling. I've had I was in corporate America and I loved it. Again, right back to you, Tracy. Like it was really, I enjoyed it. I loved the go hustle bustle. But now that I'm actually doing, this, I'm helping people, and it's like I'm helping them be healthier, better versions of themselves. And so it doesn't matter who the person is that walks through that door. I have so much passion behind it because I just love seeing the end result, right? And seeing them every single day, one day at a time, get better and better. So it's a calling and it's not just a job.
Jax.
A job is just something you make money at. It's just something that allows you to financially move forward. A calling is whether you were being paid or not, you would do it. You would figure out how to slave through, even when it's not going well, even when the world seems against you. It doesn't matter. You keep going because you know that is exactly where you're supposed to be in that moment.
Yeah. And again, you guys have done a good job of touching on everything. The correct answer. No, y'all's answers are great. Viewing your profession.
He's going to say he's going to shame us for not giving the exact correct answer, guys.
I could just pretend like it's my answer. Viewing your profession as a calling involves a deep sense of purpose, passion, and fulfillment derived from your work, driving you to exceed expectations. Seeing it as just a job is transactional, where the focus is completing tasks for compensation without a deeper connection to work. I think you do see that a lot in the corporate world, where you just, it's a job. I know you guys were passionate about your jobs, but I think you can, even in your business, sometimes you can forget the purpose of what you're doing and why. I mean, mortgages are not in and of themselves exciting. I mean, let's just be honest, Jax. But
I say it all the time. I'm like, the
right.
real estate part is the sexy part.
But the result of a mortgage is life changing, and so that's how you have to see. Well, same thing in the financial world. Okay, this is I don't think we have time for a third one, so we know we're getting about 2 or 3 a week. We'll have to wrap it up here. So a lot of other what's the difference questions to come over the coming weeks. We'll try to get 3 in each time. We'll try to work on our response. So this is our first time doing it here, but I really enjoyed that segment. Let's wrap up. I'm going to give 45 seconds to each of you. Just share your thoughts, what you learned, what you enjoyed about the show today, and what you're going to take away and apply to your life and business. Let's start with you, Kristine. 45 seconds to you.
What I learned today really is, that it's constantly just putting all of your, heart and soul into it, what I've already do, which is easy for me. And keeping in mind that, if you're doing what you love, it's really not work. Right. And so, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I learned a lot. So.
Well, we're glad to have you on. Tracey, 45 seconds to you as well.
No, I've learned a lot. 4 new friends. I'm very grateful for that. I love the bigger picture and sharing. It really reflects our name. Together we thrive. We can't do life. We're not made to do life by ourselves. So look to see where you can connect to someone, whether it's youth or adults. And also really a shout out to all the nonprofits. It's North Texas Giving Day through the 19th of September. Go find who you believe in and bless them.
Fantastic. Giving, it's more like giving week, I guess.
Giving 2 weeks.
Giving 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That doesn't flow as well, but that's okay. Lauren, 45 seconds to you.
I just always appreciate the conversation that we have. It inspires me to want to be the best version of myself, both just as a human and then as a business person. So just really appreciate y'all showing up and being your authentic selves and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge with us.
Jax.
So, of course, I always love all the conversations because I just genuinely love people. But I think Lyndon sort of reminding that even though education is super important, the fact of like falling in love with the brand, falling in love with, kind of that representation is super important, because what you and I, Nathan, do for a living, it is super important, but it is super boring. It's not exactly the sexy stuff. So it's important to remember that, yes, if they fall in love with the brand, if they fall in love with that aspect, then when they are ready to do the boring stuff, I'm going to be the person, right?
Right. And doing it well can save a lot of heartache in both of our which is important. Sure. But you can never get to that point if you haven't stayed top of mind, if you haven't built the brand outside of just what you do. So for me, some of the things that I'm doing personally in my top of mind strategies, I love the conversation today because, and I'm going to just eat up this topic because it's going to constantly help me to think, how am I attracting audiences beyond just what I do? Okay. And or the people that I need to connect with from a client standpoint or from an agent standpoint. Thank you. Oh, shout out to Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. So that's very eye-opening and challenging to me. I will leave you guys with one thing. One, our Business Development Alliance on the 26th, 4 p.m. at Urban Rio. And then let's go back to our first What's the Difference question. I want to leave you guys, just our audience. If you're a business owner, think about, are you invested in your personal journey, or are you merely just participating in it? Right? You could do that with your marriage, you can do that with your kids, you could do that with your business, your job, the things that you've set your time and attention on. Are you really invested in making those things successful, or are you just a participant in that? So I challenge you to think through that. We'll be back same time, 11:30 next week, to continue this amazing topic. All new guests, all new co-hosts. Thank you to Lauren. Thank you to Jackson, of course, Kristine and Tracey. Loved having you guys on today. Sergeant Babb and, of course, Mark Jarrell with the City of Plano. You guys have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Jim Thomas, business consultant and business funding expert, Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Asiya Mahmood with Windhaven Academy, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Schaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. And by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Gleneagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.